What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Home Loans with Walter here. As always, guys, we got a short week this week. Not a lot going on. We're pretty much gonna see what's going on this week. What's happening in the market. Not a lot of mortgage or real estate news that I can see as of yet, but we're gonna be going over that here pretty soon. And as always, if you guys are looking to buy your next home, or looking for your next real estate deal, or even looking at reverse mortgages for your retirement, happy to help answer any of those questions. Feel free, use the link in the bio. So let's get into it. And also, if you see any of these links that I'm using, they will be provided below. So yeah, we'll jump right into it. All right, guys. So as you can see here, there's not gonna be much going on like the first 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. There's not much US news, at least for at least mortgages or real estate. There is a speech by Fed Speaker Waller on Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. These are all Pacific times because it's my local region. After that, not much going on Tuesday except for the trades, imports, exports. Or actually, ADP employment is coming out on Tuesday, so that actually might be something. And then CPI or CIE data, so consumer inflation expectations, is coming out on Tuesday as well. And after that, Wednesday, you're gonna have your mortgage numbers. MBA is going to be releasing their 30-year mortgage rates, the applications, and then the index. And then as well as you are gonna have your FOMC minutes, so not a full-blown thing, just like the cliff notes of what's going on behind the scenes there. And then Thursday, you're gonna have your jobless claims, at 5:30 in the morning, and so that'll dictate what's going on. It may or may not change. I think currently right now we're pricing at 25 bips higher come September. If not, the market has already touched on that. And then so from there, we're going to go ahead and look at earnings this week's. You guys know I like to look at my stocks and all that. This is from Reddit, as you can tell. I don't know what this is over here, but you can see here. Hold on. There we go. You guys can see here. No earnings on Monday. Tuesday, you're going to have after close. Saratoga Investment Corp, Cura, NPAC. Not much crazy. Nothing crazy this week. Helen of Troy on Wednesday. Levi's on Wednesday after close. PepsiCo is going to be on Thursday, as well as WD-40, and then Delta on Friday. That might be actually interesting. And then lastly, we're going to be looking at the Heckam World News is here. So there is a link here. It's basically going to be speaking about the housing market finds its footing and how the finance of America expands, and home equity is now coming to the spotlight here. All right, so this article and video, I'll leave this link in the bio below as well. For the first time since 2017, asking prices across the U.S. have posted their largest year-over-year decline. So at first glance, this sounds alarming, but the data suggests that it isn't necessarily the beginning of a housing crash. It may be actually a good sign that the market is returning to a healthier balance. I know we've been speaking about this for the last few weeks, but over the past few years, home prices have climbed to like an unsustainable pace due to the limited inventory and fierce competition. Now, with mortgage rates still elevated and buyers are becoming more price sensitive than ever, sellers are being forced to adjust their expectations. Instead of simply listing a home at any price and expecting multiple offers, today sellers are, increasingly reducing their prices to attract more buyers. So while this may be like a bad news for sellers. It's actually creating more opportunities for buyers who have been on the sidelines and waiting. So it gives them a chance to actually get into the market and be more competitive. And then the article also spotlights several developments in the reverse mortgage industry. So Finance of America has expanded its mortgage business by acquiring Onity's servicing portfolio, strengthening their position in the market at the same time. So the company is returning to the numbers one position in the reverse mortgage endorsement, according to the latest lender rankings here. And then finally, the growing legal challenges surrounding HomeTap are putting home equity investment products under greater scrutiny. So as more homeowners tap into their home equity in different ways, regulators and consumers are paying much more attention to how these products work and how they're marketed. So the big takeaway here is the housing market isn't collapsing, it's normalizing. Buyers are gaining a little bit more negotiating power. Sellers need to be more realistic on pricing, and home equity continues to play an increasingly important role in your financial planning. It'll be interesting to see whether this trend starts to continue for the rest of the year. So, with that being said, I know we covered a few different things here, mainly the economic calendar. We saw what the news events that are coming this week. It's mainly going to kick off on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where on Tuesday, we're going to have the initial employment change. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have more of the MBA news, which is the M as in for the mortgage news, uh, which is the mortgage applications here and the mortgage refinance applications as well. And then on Thursday, we're going to have those jobless claims coming out. And then this week, earnings are pretty light this week. Earnings week this week is pretty low. So few of the notable names here are going to be Levi's, PepsiCo, WD-40, and Delta from what I'm seeing here. And then lastly, we went over the reverse mortgage and seeing how that's starting to play a role and how people are tapping into their home equity, as well as the market starting to come back to an equilibrium and having the same amount of buyers and sellers, or having the buyers get more negotiating power. So that's it for this week. Talking to you guys soon. Peace.